Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you so much for dropping by. This is a video journey of my deep dive into Shin Buddhism. So it's day 2. It's the end of day 2. And it's been quite the day. First and foremost, I've done some cleaning up. I've gotten all my books. And I have a lot of spiritual books on a lot of different topics, all of them in a box in the shed. I think the one exception, I still have my big book because I work the 12 steps, and I'm not sure to what extent I'm going to continue that or not, but if I do, it's going to be with Amida as my higher power. And I have a Qigong. I was going to keep a Qigong book out for health, but I've decided I don't need it, and that's going in. And this is a big deal for me. I have pictures, like there's Jesus is going to go in the, I've got this guy, Bruno Gröning, who I used to think of him as my guru. My house has all these altars, and I was just, it's not a little thing for me to pack up my books and pack up my pictures. I mean, look at this thing right here. This is called a crystal bed. It supposedly heals the chakras or balances the chakras. And I don't know that I'm going to take it down, but I'm a bit of a nut. So not so much a nut, I just didn't have a foundation, and so that's part of what I'm going to be exploring is Amida my foundation, is Amida my savior? Because I've kind of had this idea that there are lots of saviors, and I think that's true to some extent, but the question is, who's my savior? I think there are lots of beings, and now I'm thinking of them as Buddhas, many Buddhas that can save, and many bodhisattvas that can help, and then maybe beings that aren't even bodhisattvas that can help, such as angels. And I don't know the Buddhist view on angels. I know there are demons, so I assume. But regardless, none of who's gonna save me? Who's gonna deliver me? That's what I'm looking for, and what can be the foundational focus of my life. So cleaning up, I had a little bit of a miracle today, actually. One of my addictions is video games, and I went to try and I played a bunch, and then I went to play some more, and I was like, this doesn't feel right to do. But I did it, I went to do it anyway, and it literally didn't work. It literally shut down with some kind of internal error. So I know this guy had something to do with that, or one of his helpers. So that's something I'm struggling with a little bit today, is I'm used to praying and asking for help with everything, or, trying to, generally Christ or this guy, Bruno Gröning, who I showed you his picture. So, I know that petitionary prayer is a big no-no in Shin Buddhism, and asking, focusing on other Buddhas and other beings other than Amitabha is a big no-no. So I'm asking Amida what to do with that, and I'm asking Amida for help with the addictions, help with health, help with dating, just talking to him, asking his will or his guidance. So I'm looking to I'm looking to be really clear about, and also looking to really clarify the difference between salvation and relative help. Like Amida giving me dating advice is not going to lead to Buddhahood. Whereas in the past, I kind of thought it might. Like, I meet the right woman, it's a healing relationship, we get into Tantra, we wake up together, kind of everything I sought was really a seeking of Buddhahood. I just didn't know it. It's kind of nuts, or nirvana, or liberation. Like obsession with supplements, obsession with diet, obsession with anything. I think everything we're seeking for is we're seeking for Buddhahood, is my view. We're seeking for nirvana. Or that's my reflection on today. I found some really great resources. First and foremost is this blog called uh, let's see, hold on. Amita's The Call of Boundless Compassion. And callofboundlesscompassion.wordpress.com. I've seen this guy post on boards before. His name is Hang. Oh my God, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And he has a YouTube channel too, which is amazing, which you can see in my channels. I think, what's the name of his channel? Let's see, one moment. If you go onto my channel and you look at channels, he is Amita Buddha. And if you go to, he has a video called Amita Buddha's Call, the introduction. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. This guy is on it. This guy is really on it. I have a lot of respect for what he's up to, and he's very well studied. So that was a wonderful find today. And I'm loving this book by Rev Josho, Joso Shinsu Buddhist Teachings. It's basically Rev Josho just talking about, it starts as an introduction, but then it really just talks about applying Shin Buddhism to, or Jodo Shinsu to different aspects of life. Like he talks about addictions and So someone asked him about addiction. Here's what he said. This is page 78. The person said that they just couldn't quit addicting their addictive behavior. And here's what Rev Josho said. I said to him, just entrust to Amita as you are. If you can abstain and it is useful to try, this would be good for your health. But if you cannot, don't worry. Jodo Shinsu is especially for people who cannot abstain, who are incapable of any practice, for those whom any advice or treatment is useless. For people whose minds are too sick to remove from their problems, anxieties, and deviations. It's not that they especially want to be like this, but their habitual karma is so strong for them to overcome. After many years and even many lives of taking the drugs of ignorance and blind passion, how can one think and act like a normal person? How can one practice Buddhism and become a Buddha himself? I have met many people with alcohol, I have met many times with alcoholics and have told them the same if they ask me the question about Buddhism. If you tried and cannot give up, then be an alcoholic who entrusts to Amita. Be an alcoholic Nembutsu follower. It's okay and normal to be like that. Be a bad Buddhist who entrusts to Amita. But if you are able to, it is for the sake of your own well-being to give up your bad habits. So it's very beautiful. He takes, and we're going to see. I've been trying to break free from addictions for a long time, and I may be one of the ones who just can't this lifetime. And that was a huge surrender for me last night, to be like, you know what? I just may not be able to. Like, I crunched the numbers. Like, I've been trying very hard. I've been trying, I think, for about 3 years now, and I think I've had like 65% sobriety. On the one hand, that's really good because I was pretty low, and on the other hand, it's pretty discouraging, and that might be as best I can get. I actually for a while I had it up to more like 80, 78 or 80%. So I think I can do a little better. But I may never be 100%. And that was a huge shift last night to surrender that and also not just to surrender that, but to be like, actually, me getting sober is not the most important thing. The most fucking important thing is that I'm fucking reborn in the Pure Land, that I become a Buddha. That's what's most important. Sobriety just would be for one life, or a couple of years, But what I'm after is what's eternal. And that's 1,000 times, 100 million times more important. That was a huge surrender for me. That was kind of one of my idols. And that's got in the way last time I explored Jodo Shinsu of like making sobriety more important and then Shinjin. And as he points out here, they're not mutually exclusive. And, you know, there's kind of, I think, this lie in the 12-step world that everyone can get sober in this lifetime. And I think it's just a lie. I don't want to discourage anyone from trying. I don't want to discourage me from trying, but, as a human, in samsara, that's what we're up against. We're up against limits and karma. And some karma we are not going to overcome in this lifetime, no matter if we put our whole, everything into it, we're going to fail. That's just the nature of samsara. And of course, the self-help and healing industry makes billions of dollars off peddling the lie that anyone can change and heal anything. And to some extent that's true. Grace happens, miracles happen, people overcome great adversity, but I think the lie is that everyone will. I think maybe it's a lie that everyone can. I think some things we have to bear. And I love Rev Josho's approach, taking these principles and applying it to addiction. So that really freed me up. And of what? My big idols were sobriety and sacred partnership, like having a spiritual relationship with a woman, and getting my shit together, and saving the world. I'm constantly trying to come up with these plans to end all suffering on earth. That's how delusional I am, or was. Making it big, and who knows, maybe I'll come up with a plan. Maybe I will get my shit together, maybe I will make it big. But I am just, as of today, and if I am crystal clear, all those things are of beyond secondary importance, just absolute. Compared to rebirth in the Pure Land, those things are completely fucking meaningless. They're nothing. They're really nothing. And I'm gonna, that's the balance I'm gonna be striving for this time, and to still pursue them, but pursue them with the proper perspective. And I think the proper perspective is they're nothing, and they do matter in a certain relative sense of the word, but in an absolute sense of the word, utterly meaningless. Utterly meaningless. But in a lived life world, it's meaningful. I had a great connection with my cat today, and I had a couple of nice conversations with people, and those things were meaningful, and those do matter. And but to hold them in their proper perspective, that in terms of rebirth in the Pure Land, an exit from samsara, becoming a Buddha, those things are like pennies before $1 trillion. Sure, a stack of $1 trillion. So let's say right here we have a stack of $1 trillion, and here's a penny. Here's a little penny, and here's this, let's say the whole screen is $1 billion, and then right down in the little corner, let's see if I can get it. There it is, right down there in the corner. See, you can barely see it. That's great. Right there in the corner is a penny, and it's sure, the penny exists. Sure, the penny has some level of substance, but compared to the trillions, it's nothing. And let's be a little more realistic here and be $1,000. Okay, let's say here's $1,000. Here's these trillions of dollars, and here's $1,000, and compared to the trillion, the 1,000 is nothing. And from a human point of view, $1,000, especially in a poor country, I've traveled around, and in third world countries, a lot of people don't even make $1,000 a year. lot of people are living on less than $100 a month. So, but even here, I'm in the United States, even in a first world country, like, yeah, it's something. So that's what I'm looking for, is that proper balance. So I'm going to bed a happy man, and very grateful to all the people who've carried the message. And I've started creating a Shin-Buddhism website, which I'm really excited about. And it's just in the bare bones, but stay tuned. It will probably within a couple days. I'll post it. It'll be up and going. So let's see. I think I am gonna post a link to the video, Amida Buddha's Call, the introduction. I'm gonna post that in the comment section. Thanks so much for dropping by. Namo Amida Butsu.